Hello everyone and welcome back to another Hard Count podcast, and today we are going to be talking about Trevor Lawrence, the new quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and why we should be a little bit more worried about him than you may think. Real quick though, before we get into the video, I just want to remind you guys to hit that subscribe button. YouTube has been telling me that only 5% of you guys watching my videos are subscribed. That is not enough. So thanks for that, and without further ado, let's get right into the video. Trevor Lawrence, the number one high school prospect in 2018, committed to Clemson, where he broke onto the scene in year one, beating Alabama in the national championship game handily. After that game, everyone crowned Lawrence the next big thing in the NFL. People were calling him the next Andrew Luck, a generational talent, and even the greatest quarterback prospect we have ever seen. Trevor Lawrence played 2 more seasons at Clemson until a couple weeks ago, where he was drafted to the Jacksonville Jaguars with the number 1 overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. And so today, I'm going to be telling you guys why Trevor Lawrence is not as special as you may have thought, and why we all should be a little bit more concerned for him in Jacksonville than you may think. So first, people like to call Trevor Lawrence a generational prospect. Now, a generational prospect is someone who is so good, so special, that they only come around about once every 20 years. They're so special that you really have never seen anything like them, or at least haven't seen anything like them in a very long time. And so, really quickly, for those of you who think Trevor Lawrence is a generational prospect, let me ask, what makes you think this? What makes Trevor Lawrence a generational player? Why do you really think he's so great? Now, that was the question that I asked myself. What exactly makes Trevor Lawrence generational? And I thought to myself, and my answer was, I'm not really sure. And let's just take a look at this year's quarterback class and give our, let's just say, 2021 quarterback superlatives. Who is the best quarterback in each category? This is a good way to tell maybe what makes a guy stand out, what makes a guy special. And special is what makes someone generational. So here are our quarterback superlatives. Best arm, I'd have to say Trey Lance. Best arm talent, Zach Wilson, definitely. Best athlete, I'd say Justin Fields on that one. Most accurate, Mac Jones. I think you could also make a case for Justin Fields there. Best processor, Mac Jones. So those are our quarterback superlatives. And I think those are things we can all agree on for the most part, right? Now, do you notice anything? I don't see Trevor Lawrence's name up there once. He isn't even the best in any of those main elements of being a quarterback in his own draft class. And I know what you're thinking. Well, Spencer, he might not be the best in any one category, but he's second or third best across the board. And yeah, I would agree with that. And that's why I had Trevor Lawrence as the second best quarterback in his draft class. But there's a problem with that. There's a problem with that statement. If Trevor Lawrence is the second or third best across the board in his own draft class, then how exactly is he generational? That doesn't sound very generational to me. It looks like the only thing that's really generational about Trevor Lawrence is his hair. And, we talk about him being second or third in all these areas. It's not like Trevor Lawrence doesn't have issues too. His pocket presence was often lackluster in college. He would take unnecessary sacks. He needs to work through moving through his progressions more. He would stick on his first read far too often in college. And also at Clemson, he would trust his guy always to make the play because Clemson had the superior talent at the college level. And that is something that he will need to adjust to in the NFL. Trevor Lawrence has some things that he needs to work on and some things that he does right now that may not transition well into the NFL. And I think that because of the crazy hype around Trevor Lawrence, the amount of people calling him a generational talent, the best quarterback prospect they've ever seen, some of those weaknesses get a little bit overlooked, and people are hesitant to recognize the real risk that comes with those weaknesses. So Trevor Lawrence, to me, again, a good quarterback prospect. Number 2, number 3 across the board in his own draft class, has some nice traits to him. But Trevor Lawrence, by no means, is a generational talent. With that being said, I think that we should be a little bit more concerned about Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville than we are. Because as we know, Trevor Lawrence got drafted to the Jacksonville Jaguars with the number 1 pick this year. Well, there's a reason the Jaguars had the number 1 pick in the first place. They're an organization that has been consistently bad over the years, a bottom 3 team over the decade. I think we can all agree. I have legitimate concerns about their ability to foster Trevor Lawrence's talent. And I know Urban Meyer is new, but to be honest, I can't say I have too much confidence in him after what I've seen. This is a guy who drafted Travis Etienne in the first round, a running back in the first round, and played him at wide receiver for every snap of rookie minicamp. Urban, if you wanted a wide receiver, you could have just drafted one. So I have legitimate concerns with the Jaguars organization and their history over the course of the years with drafting players and fostering their talent. Now I know. But Spencer, Trevor Lawrence is a great prospect. He should be able to overcome the bad situation in Jacksonville. Well, my response to that is, there has been a lot of great quarterback prospects over the past decade. And naturally, they have been taken to the teams that need quarterbacks early in the draft. So, let's look at all of the quarterbacks since 2010 that have been drafted in the top 5. Sam Darnold, Blake Bortles, RG3, Cam Newton, Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, Baker Mayfield, Sam Bradford, Andrew Luck, Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, and Mitch Trubisky. Not the best list. Yeah, a couple good players, but mostly guys who entered the league and disappointed. Why is this? And that's because landing spot matters in the NFL. Are you put in a position to succeed? Are you put in a position to grow? Are you put in a position to develop? And that's the question that is the key to the development of players, quarterbacks in particular, which we just saw with that list. Those were great prospects who came into the NFL. There's a reason they were drafted so high, and they failed to live up to expectations, which a large part of the reason for that was because of the organizations that they landed with. And I think that we could be seeing that again here with Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. Lawrence is a good prospect, but if not developed properly, I think that we could see him struggle to find success in the NFL and find himself following the same fate as some of those guys on the list that we mentioned earlier. So, in conclusion, Trevor Lawrence is a good prospect, but by no means a generational one. And I think that we should be worried that Lawrence becomes the next in line of good quarterbacks who end up in bad situations and never live up to expectations.